Hi, everyone. I'm Dedy Kredo, co-founder and CPO of Qodo. Today's presentation will be about how in the era of vibe coding, we can enable developers to produce high-quality, production-grade code in a complex enterprise setting. A little bit about Qodo as a company. Our mission is to eliminate the speed-quality trade-off when developing enterprise-grade software. We essentially want to enable enterprises to move at the speed of startups while producing high-quality, production-grade code. We provide a modular, multi-agent, intelligent software development platform that spans across the entire software development lifecycle. Our core focus is on code review for real-world heavy-duty software and on code understanding the code in a complex enterprise code-based setting. So that's a little bit of background about the company. So with that, let's dive in. Andrej Karpathy, a few months back, coined the term vibe coding, and that really caught fire, I would say. Everybody wants to do vibe coding. This is kind of essentially the concept of coding, not really paying attention to the actual code produced and more focusing on the functionality, iterating with the LLMs until you get something working, not really thinking in detail around how is it working behind the scene, not really testing it thoroughly per se, kind of getting into the point where it just works. And while this kind of works like nicely for like small projects, for side gigs, I would say, we believe that for production grade code, it's not a viable solution. We can see in the community that people are discussing this. Okay, vibe coding is where two engineers create a whole bunch of tech debt. Because as you move fast and as you iterate, and if you are actually going to push this vibe coded code into production, you're creating this massive tech debt, and you may introduce quality issues into your code base. And even Karpathy now recognizes that this is an okay concept for like side projects or personal projects. But when it comes to production grade code, especially in complex existing code bases, it's really important to pay attention to the software quality. Context is really king. Having the context awareness into the broader code base, and then working in kind of predefined or detailed workflows that can test and verify your code. But let me take another step back. Do we really need open source projects in the era of coding with LLMs? Because if you really think about it, LLMs are trained on the entire span of open source code. So they kind of encapsulate the entire coding knowledge of society. So I can always prompt an LLM and ask it to do something for me or write a new piece of code for me. So why do we need that? Why do we still need open source if I can just write the code from scratch using LLMs? So interesting question to kind of debate and think about. Well, we at Qodo believe that the answer for this question is absolutely yes. We definitely need open source in the era of LLMs. And the reason is that when it comes to topics that are related to opinions that are subjective, that require human input, that having this public debate is crucial for the community to be involved and for the right stuff to be developed and to happen. And we believe that code review is one of these topics. It's very subjective. Coding practices are very subjective. And this is why we believe it's a very good topic for an open source project. And this is why we've built PR Agent. This is our open source code review agent. If you think about it, as more and more code gets written by AI, the importance of code review is just increasing. It's becoming more and more important as a discrete step in the software development lifecycle. And PR Agent improves the effectiveness and efficiency of code reviews by kind of running automatically when a new PR is opened. it's triggered, it's collecting the context from the PR data and also from other areas of the repo or even of the broader code base. It can bring in context from tickets, like, for example, the GitHub issues, the relevant issues, or maybe the Jira ticket. It will generate a description for the change. It will estimate the level of effort to review. It will flag issues. It will answer questions. The PR agent also has the ability to learn the practices of, or the best practices of a specific code base and do that in an automated manner in order to generate a set of best practices that can then be automatically enforced. We have about 50,000 PRs that are being reviewed by PR Agent and by Qodo Merge, which is our hosted paid offering of PR Agent. So with that, let me go into a little bit more detail of PR Agent. So this is the open source repo. You can see here we have lots of contributors from across a variety of geographies and companies and freelancers that are contributing to this code base, and that this topic of code review is near and dear to their hearts. We can see just an example, maybe like a recent PR. Let's look at like a closed PR here in our open source repo. You can see like maybe this one, for example. So when a PR is open, it basically creates this automated description and walkthrough of the changes, including a detailed changes diagram. So all this was automatically created by PR agent, breaking down the changes and kind of helping the reviewers and the reviewer walk through the actual changes. Then we can see the reviewer guide. This is where PR agent reviews the code, it analyzes it, it compares it to the actual requirements. In this case, it's coming from a GitHub issue that is linked here, but it can be to like a Jira ticket as another example, or a linear ticket. We can see the areas that are compliant, maybe areas that require further clarification, or maybe a non-required. Any major security issues will be highlighted here as well. And then high-level areas of recommendation for their review. And then Qodo Merge also surfaces specific suggestions. So here we can see a possible issue that was flagged with a medium impact and it was applied. You can see here that it's checked, so it was applied by the developer. There are different triggers, so you can so all these commands that I mentioned, they review, they describe, and the improve tool, which provided the code suggestions. All these run automatically when a PR is opened. But you can also trigger Qodo Merge. Basically, you can ask it to implement a change. And then you can see that PR agent basically implements the change for us. And we can see this for a few different issues that were mentioned here. There's another like core capability, which is around best practices. So when you onboard PR agent in our hosted offering, Qodo Merge, into a new repo, it scans the history and it kind of the history of discussions. And based on that, it auto-generates a set of best practice patterns that it identifies in the code base. And these can serve as best practices that PR agents can then refer to when it reviews the code. And then if it will find an issue that is related to a best practice, it will flag it. You can see here, I have another example where this is a best practice that was violated here on this PR. It was flagged as an issue. So we both enable developers to auto-generate the set of best practices on a per repo, on a per team kind of basis. And obviously developers can edit those, tweak them, change them, and even create a detailed hierarchy of best practices. So there could be a global level set of best practices at the org level, and then maybe there's a set of best practices for the backend repos, and maybe different best practices for front-end repos, and maybe specific repos or specific teams may want to have their own specific set of best practices. So yeah, so this is PR Agent. We're very, very excited about the traction and about the adoption that we had with it to date. So thank you for your time. It was a pleasure. Hopefully this was beneficial for everyone. And feel free to check us out. Either search for PR Agent open source and you'll find our open source repo of PR Agent, or go to qodo.ai where you can see all of our products and contact us. Thanks and bye for now.